I want to show you how to plan a business. It's really simple how to plan a business. There are 4 things we need to address. We need to have a goal. We need to know, and the goal is measured in terms of the structure of the business that we want at the end of the month and the case credits we want to have achieved by the end of the month. That's it. We want to know what product-centered activity we're going to do in order to deliver some of those case credits. We need to know what prospecting activity we're going to do to deliver some of those case credits. And we also need to consider some other things that will develop our skills and our motivation. That's it. So when we have a planning meeting, we need to start by sitting down with somebody and saying, okay, I always start by saying, what would you like to achieve from this meeting? And I hear let them set the agenda. The meeting's going to be the same, but if they've got any questions they need answering or problems, let's get it out in the open straight away. And then I'm going to get out the business planner. And I'm going to share that with you now because this is brand new. And this is a document. Yes. Ooh. This is a document. Those of you who've been on the course before will recognise the inside of it because it is simply a document that we can write on with 4 quadrants in it. And it means that we're going to get it out and we're going to start talking about a business plan for somebody. They're going to be filling this in. We're going to be drawing it. It becomes a shared business plan for the person that we're working with. At the front, it says period covered. So it could be a quarterly plan, it could be a year's plan. You could have one for a year, one for the forthcoming quarter, one for a month. But for the moment, we're just going to cover the month. So it would be period covered month from today's date, 12th of January, to the 31st of January. I want you to do this when you get one. And that's the period. It's going to be a short month, but we're up for it. We're game, we can do this. And inside, we're going to start filling in these quadrants. So, this, I'd like you to imagine, is that opened out A4 document. This quadrant is our goals. So what is our January goal, given what we've talked about so far? 8 CCs. That's right, 8 to 10. Go on then, let's put that. And what's the structure going to look like? You know that? You knew that already, didn't you? Everybody in the room knew that. You happy with that?
Yeah.
And there are our goals. You know, we haven't spent 45 minutes dancing around each other. We've got a really clear goal. So how are we going to get these? So here we're going to talk about the product. So 2 case credits of that is going to come from product activity. So 2 case credits. And on here we're just going to list some of the things that we could do. Now it could be a launch. And you put a date down for the launch or launches. It could be a show and tell. When I say show and tell, it's like a launch, except it's happening tomorrow and it's only 2 or 3 people or 1 person. It doesn't matter. You're getting your box out, you're showing them the products, they're trying some, you're telling them all the stories you know about the products. There might be 3 people. One of the problems with fixing launches up is we tend to fix them up in 2 weeks' time and nothing happens between now and then. And that is a killer. I'm not saying launches are a bad idea. What I think is a bad idea is fixing something up for 2 weeks' time and not doing anything in the meantime. So it could be a show and tell. You could be getting your packs out, customer trial packs. Customer trial packs are a brilliant way of developing new customers or expanding your existing customers, their basket of orders that they bring. You could be having a Nutrilean group. Great time of year to be starting this. You know, I'm doing a 9-day detox I intend to lose £10. I'm looking for 5 people to join me. You could do a product of the month promo. Where you focus on one product to get the message out and you talk to people. And you might have done a show and tell last month and I say, we've got a new product of the month, can I come and show you what it's all about? Or you put it on Facebook. Any of these things will bring retail volume, and what we're looking for is 2 case studies. So you don't have to write them all down, you just have to negotiate with your new person what they're gonna do. And some people want to do launches, some people want to do show and tell. You want to get, if it's a show and tell, try and get something happening either later on today or tomorrow. And you'll just be building their confidence so much, certainly by the end of the week. Only 2 or 3 people's fine. Just one, get their mum there, that's plenty good enough. It's a confidence booster and somebody might buy something. So that's the products, and you'll see here that you don't have to remember what goes in each quadrant because it says goals, products. So now we're going to look in this one, and it's sponsor. So what activities are we going to do in order to sponsor these people? Well, we have to have significant conversations. And so we're going to have, if it was 4 weeks, 15 significant conversations. Per week. And that should result in 3 to 5 one-to-ones equals 1 assistant supervisor. Per week. You do that 4 times, you get that. Because we've only got 3 weeks left of the month. We do it 3 times, we'll get 3. Now obviously, this is done discussing it with them, you might have to explain some things. But we've got quite a long way through a business plan in 10 minutes, haven't we? Can you imagine getting this out with your new person, especially if they've been to a training where they learnt about all this? So then we need to, from this, talk about a 7-day plan. And our 7-day plan, you use a spiral-bound notebook. They write down the names of the people they're going to be calling, the first 15 people they're going to call this week. And you go to the first name, Jill Smith. Brilliant. Tell me about Jill. Tell me why you think she'd be good at the business or why she'd want to join. She tells you a bit about her. So you do a little profile. You say, okay, what are we going to say to her? How well do you know her? What are you going to say when you call her? And you do a kind of mini scriptoid. You don't write it down, but you practice it just by thinking about it. And you say, great, when are you going to make the call? It's Saturday today. How soon do you want to make the call? And you say, well, and then they start thinking about their diary. Oh, I can't ring tomorrow because I'm out at my mum's all day, or I'm with the kids all day, so I can ring. Well, I could ring her tonight. Or she works during the day, so I'll have to ring Monday evening. So they're thinking about the schedule, and so she'll say, I'll have to ring Monday evening. So you say, next to Jill Smith, or whatever the name I just said was, Jill Smith, Monday, PM, evening, EVE. And that is my plan. So next name on the list. So when you're going to ring Bill? Well, I'll ring Bill tonight. Great. Saturday evening. What about John? So the first 2 often take a while for them to get into it. By the 3rd one, they're saying, oh yeah, I can ring John on Sunday morning. Or I'll actually see John on Sunday morning. So I put a little note, F2F, face to face. Sunday AM. And we write our 7-day plan, which is our 15. Or if they're full-time, it's usually 25 in a week. They've got the list of what they're going to do. I get my phone out. I take a picture of it and I file it in on my phone and I'll say, brilliant, you're going to speak to Bill and Jenny tonight. I'll ring you at 9 o'clock and see how you got on with them. And suddenly there's a plan that they're committed to, that they know you're going to be following up on. And by doing that, they're going to feel more likely to do it. Sure, they'll feel pressure. Do you know what happens to tyres if they've got no pressure on them? They shred. And the same happens with people. So, if you want to do the best by your new person, you need to help them overcome their stumbling blocks. Overcome their inhibitions. And they will have inhibitions. And if you don't give them a nudge, an encouraging but forceful nudge to overcome them, you are letting your people down. Because they will, if you've got a business where everybody you sponsor defaults into that one case credit pool, that tells you something about how you are handling that. And so then we've got our 7-day plan, and then this quadrant says skills. And it might be about skills, but for us it's more about motivation. So we need to think about how we're going to motivate somebody and help develop their skills. So if I was doing this now, first thing I'd be putting here would be get success day tickets. You get it in your diary. Now, I'd be probably talking about a business presentation. Not because they're going to learn anything from the business presentation, but they're going to be engaged with the other people. And that you need to get them, you know, pressing the flesh. I would, it's a politician's expression, it means shaking hands, but success day, business presentation. How about listening to your favourite CDs? Or maybe read a book. You will find out from their personality type whether they prefer books or CDs. And you know, if they can't afford it, lend them something. And say, oh, I can't wait till you get to chapter 3. There's something really valuable in that. I'm going to call you on Wednesday. Could be anything. You know, home training. These are just some examples. Get on if you've got a team webinar, have a webinar. Anything where they're going to get engaged, involved. And you just write 2 or 3 things down. Don't fill the whole thing up necessarily, just a few things down. Get getting my audio booze. I'm going to talk about that a little later. And then you've got a plan, all written out. That's their plan. You get your phone out, take a picture of it, and you file it with their 7-day plan. And that means that you are then a valuable coach to them when you're ringing up and say, how are you getting on with? You've got a record of what you've done. It's simple. Took half an hour to organise, and they know exactly what they need to be doing. Do you like it?